Hello and welcome. It is the 28th day of October 2019. My name is Derek. Like always, all bets, trades, and of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. Price action of the 18 average rising as it should when it's well above the band, as it had a fantastic gain on Friday's session into Saturday as the price rose higher. And well, Thursday into Friday, yes, into Saturday. Price rose up to 10,300, and I think that happened Friday night when it hit that high. Since that point, it has stayed above this 9,000 mark, but has not went anywhere near the 10,100 level, which was the general area of the top. Actually, 10,300, but let alone it hasn't even been over 10,000 cents. Although close last night, 99.50 was the intraday high, as we can see on the single hour term time frame, how price action got above this 76.4 level, or 23.6 down, and unable to hold this, and has been showing a lot of support at 93.15 in short term. Still just diddly dangling, no higher highs really in play. A lot of strengthening of these short-term levels that we can see here. For it came down to this. It first came down to it at 245, but it's solidly from 415 in the morning up until now. There's been a little bit of an attempt to get above the 18 average of highs, and it's already pulling back to the lows. So that can be well, one of those either or ready to get going. But this could be a small failed breakout, but small failed breakout is small fast move type of analysis that I like to look at it as and from. Let's switch over to GRS against BTC, which is just like whatever as far as making it to an area where it came from in here. Still a little bit to go towards the 18 average of highs coming in at 25. But things are starting to pick up with volume coming in at about 11:45 or about 20 minutes ago. And within it, we can see on the 1 minute term time frame that this might have the potential for a decent size rally as we head into today. Amongst the single hour term, it's gone above this level of resistance as well as this one in here. And we'll see how this works out. It's been showing, okay, maybe it could be ready for a breakout. Well, it's had one. Now, how good of one is this going to have? Is this it where it's just going to have a small yada yada move? Because could this have a decent okay move? And then how big of a move would it be? Meaning, I mean, with this thing can go at any given time. You can see in here this thing went from like 27 to 39. That was a gain of like 12 basis points on 27. So you're looking at like 35, 40%. So it could do like a 20, 30, 40% move. It can do a 2x, 3x, 4x. And that's what GRS has been known for. We can see on this day it goes from 63 up to like close to 20. So that's a 3x move. And that has it's due for it. But when it's due for it, it could happen today, it could happen next week, next month, and several months from now. Where and that's just what this thing seems to do. Have like 2x moves, 80%, or in that case 200% before. Sometimes a man, whatever one. And uh, as far as the potential for this, we'll see what happens. But the statement for something like that is more alive. Another way of putting it, the probability odds for a move of at least 50% over the next 50 hours is a lot higher now than it was 6 hours ago when it was looking like this, because there was no major indications of saying it. Now, well, we've at least had this come in for today, so that's something, and we'll see how it transpires. I got my alerts and ready to go. I've already sold just a little bit now. I'm trading this against two different things. So I've already sold some against DGB. I'm also trading this against LITECOIN, but I want to get a better price for it. So I wouldn't mind seeing this maybe come up and towards here. But I have my alert against Ethereum ready to go. And now Tron, interesting chart. As we have this level of resistance in here, we also had this one in here as well. So price action on the breakout above here happened to come here. Now, this I just happened. I mean, this line is there because that's where the high was. It coincided with this a little bit. It's like, man, whatever. It just happened to have a leg higher. That's what it's supposed to do. Not too big, not too small, just right. I definitely say that qualifies. Support test one, support test two, support test three, and a huge granddaddy of a support test four. And where did it lift off in each one? Well, the first one came here, the second one came up here, the third one came up to this level, and then now it's been at highs not seen since, well, the end of July. Is this trying to lead into something? If we have a significant break above here, could this be the start of at least another good leg higher? It's possible. It's definitely possible. I've left myself in good line for how I've traded this. I've kind of quote unquote short sold in that if there happens to be any big move, I'm like, oh, I could have sold 100 more and 100 there. I could have easily sold 10-15% more during this recent run because for myself, I'm looking at Tron as something that I'm trading against LTC. And because Tron's on the right hand side, this would be in a downtrend. And within this, when we take a look at what's been going on beforehand, well, what a spectacular run, going from 1,000, little over it, to 47, over a 4x move, 4.5, 4.4. And now starting to fill some of this empty space. And what I like about the situations of what can be done is just moves in here. Well, this high was almost 4. The low was like 34. So that's like 14, 15%. But I can still flip back and forth to the tune. And if this comes in here, then I can make a more aggressive trade and accumulate a decent amount of Litecoin. And the whole idea for me, I look at X, Y, Z as far as my formula for the gains I'm looking to get. Where X represents how much I overperform the market or just gain in coins. If I gain 50% in coins, that's 1.5. If I gain 20%, 1.2. If I triple it, it's 3. So if I have, say, 100 of one coin, maybe 5 of another, and then maybe whatever time, year or two surpasses, I had 105. Next thing I know, I got 315 of 300 of one, and then 15 of the other. I know I've got this at 3. And Y represents the gain of the altcoins from a point A to a point B. And for some people, you might be already at negative or yeah, or not negative, or Y might be a zero point 0.5 or 0.6, 0.3 if it's down. And if and altcoins go higher, this could go to 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever. But during a major distribution mode, if say altcoins are 10 times higher, then my X times Y would be 30, 3 times 10 if that was the case. And then Z represents the gain of the Bitcoin against the dollar. So this tells you what the net Y and Z is the altcoins against the dollar. So if Bitcoin, which we'll say, well, I'm using the equivalency of what 6,000 Bitcoin was. That's when I started, we'll say. And say Bitcoin goes to 60,000, well, that would be 10. And then you have 30 times 10, that would be 300. So at that stage, your portfolio would be higher by 300 times. And let's assume you'd be in distribution mode. Good chance you'd be in it if these numbers are both really high. Then how much of the 300x do you want to sell? Just different strategies that I like to go through. Now, as far as sports for tonight, it looks like there's one play that I like. I'm not going to go through the rest of the data. I know there's 2 in a row that wasn't good, and I think. But overall, great mathematical odds. Arizona Buffalo playing hockey tonight. 6 of the last 6 Arizona games have had 2+ goals accumulatively by both teams in the first period, and 7 of 10 throughout the season. So only one of the first 4. 5 of the last 6 Buffalo games have had that situation occur as well. And the over/under for 1.5 goals for the first period is pretty much like minus 115 over, something like that, which in itself is a very low number. The total is 5.5, and I mean that's come on, getting. I mean I'm okay. Carter Hutton's pretty good, I understand, and I know Arizona's kind of weak on offense. I like Buffalo minus 125 on the money line, but I just barely like them. I think the play tonight though is Arizona and Buffalo over 1.5 goals in the first period, 2 goals or more, that is. And I'm not. I don't got much of a bankroll. I just thought, you know what? I'm just gonna play with the profits more than anything. If it goes, it goes. It's all. It will pretty much work a whole break even when it's all said and done. So I'll put whatever percentage, 20% of what I got, which means I'm playing with a short stack, and that means I could just lose and it's all done. Meaning I'm not going to look into playing this anymore for a while. If it does well, then I'll just as always assert risk versus reward management. But what's really cool is how fast you can get paid. For last night, I said, you know what? Let's bring my Bitcoin Cash back to my wallet. And an email comes in, withdrawal request confirmation, October 27th, 9:41 p.m. Confirm withdrawal button. Yep, I push that button. And on my Trezor wallet at 9:42 p.m. It took them seconds to pay me. It took them seconds. This is faster than a live casino, I gotta think, even. That's what's so sick about it, but so amazing. They paid me within, uh, well, under 2 minutes. It could have been 15, 20 seconds. It could have been 40. I don't know, but it was fast. And that's interesting because when I use my bank card, debit card, Interac, as they say here in Canada, I always think to myself, man, this is like so slow. I mean, cryptos is half the time to confirm, more times than not. Uh, and that's what's pretty cool. Now, Bitcoin Cash against Bitcoin. Having some interesting moves above and below the 18 average, but it's not going below it right now. We'll see if it still can. There's above after it's been a significant amount of time below. This is crossed against that of Bitcoin, then below, then above, and a little bit below, a little bit above, a little bit below, microscopically above, microscopically below, a little bit above, and supporting on the lows right now. And again, still could easily still do this type of movement. I like to draw lines and stuff, and this is by nowhere near a straight one, but one of the things I like to do is just do stuff like that. And I mean, it gives you an idea of the trend that it's got to get from, and nothing more than a sideways range. It kind of established it back in here for the support part, which is July, basically July, the entire summer. And now we're part decent way through the autumn season. Yeah, we got lower highs. This doesn't change much. It's definitely lower. But at some point, these things do break. And I'm confident Bitcoin Cash is going to do very, very well. I have a figure. I have a goal for how many BCH I want to own, and I still got but 8x more. I gotta get 8 times more. I'm probably gonna start trading a bit more aggressively, but a lot of it will come into some other coins that I'm gonna. It's a plan later on within market conditions to go more aggressively into Bitcoin Cash. But that's with other coins like the Goat Chains and the Skies and the Ripples. When they give me the opportunity to distribute it, that's when that's going to happen. And of course, just the way I look at it is give me 1,000 days of some volatility. A lot of gains can be had within this market. And there's so many creative ways, of course, to win at this game. And you'll hear a lot of times like, oh, like now I've heard like 99% of the traders lose everything. I mean, that's probably majorly exaggerated in that when everything is a harsh word. Maybe I'm just a rare person that it's common for me to like just size up my losses. Like for example, when I did blackjack and I hardly put anything in it. You have like a bankroll of like 300 bucks, $300, and then when you have like $110 left, you're like you're quitting. And you knew that the math was right, but you also calculated the chances of success, failure, and then overall gains. And oh my goodness, how not fun it was just to think, well, it's profitable, and then yeah. So I'm kind of wondering. Yep, there's people, of course, that would be losing in this trading game, but there's also a lot of people that win. And you'll hear people talk about, oh, just don't play. There's just a whole bunch of whales and all this type of stuff. Well, I guess I'll use a Ric Flair quote. To be the man, you got to beat the man. Not really, but you gotta you gotta work towards to being one of those top dogs. Towards being an advantage player, where gains should happen on the long term time frame within your favor. So whichever strategy you figure out, you basically you should be able to. If you're playing it, you should understand it so well you could talk about it for 5-10 minutes why it's so damn profitable. If you can do that and you give me good reasons, then yeah, you probably got yourself onto a right track. But if you can't, then I don't know. Maybe you might be part of that 90 something percent that are losing within the game. And what I also like about cryptos too is if you want to learn how to play this game and you accept the losses, if you will, this is an opportunity to play with this platform where you can put up limited risk. You can day trade. You can have like, oh, I'm going to put a couple $100 in there to day trade with, and the markets will let you play with those numbers because their minimum bets might be $10 or something, or maybe it's a $10 minimum trade. Well, that's quite low. So at that stage, this allows you to be able to get your feet wet, be able to uh, learn at very low risk. That's what I love about this that's available for people. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.